Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, we're delighted to have you here this morning. And I'm very pleased that despite the fact that you have only enjoyed your position for a very short period of time, that the administration continues to be successful in growing this economy. In the last 50 months, as you are indicating, the private sector has created 9.2 million jobs. And we're very pleased because of our oversight responsibilities here. We have worked hard, you have worked hard, and the housing market certainly is improving. We're very pleased about the rise in home prices and, of course, what is happening with our homeowners as we get out from under the loss of wealth that we had been experiencing following the recession. Now we have so many homes that are no longer underwater. However, today, this hearing is supposed to have concerns about what is happening in the international community. So I'd like to move quickly to talk a little bit about the IMF. I had hoped that by this point we would have ratified the IMF quota reforms that modernized the IMF to take account of rapid changes in the global economy. As you are well aware, these reforms were negotiated by the Bush administration and completed in 2010 by President Obama. And despite repeated efforts by this administration to secure their passage, they continue to languish here under the Republican-controlled House. Negotiated in 2008 by the Bush administration and completed in 2010 by President Obama, the reforms would modernize the IMF to take account of rapid changes in the global economy. But despite the benefits these reforms would entail, House Republicans already this year rejected two efforts by the administration to attach to larger measures legislative language that would authorize U.S. participation in the reform package. The 2010 agreement would double the IMF's general resources to ensure the emergency lender has enough firepower to respond to crises hitting its members. It would also update the governing structure, how the IMF's voting power is distributed among members to reflect a global economy in which emerging markets are now major growth drivers, and some European countries have lost their economic might. These reforms are an essential first step to maintain the IMF's legitimacy in a volatile world, but none of this will happen until the U.S. has approved its new quota, which would require a shift in U.S. funds, not new financial commitment. In my view, depriving it of the resources to combat future global market crises would directly undercut the U.S. national interest. Growth remains below potential in most regions, including in major markets for the U.S., and unemployment in many countries remains at historic highs, with the number of long-term jobless still growing. If these crises are not solved soon, an entire generation could be blighted. Global stability is ultimately nurtured through trust in international institutions that resolve issues through cooperation rather than economic or political dominance. Should the IMF reforms continue to be delayed, what is at risk is the trust that is key to the stability of the international system. I see that my time has expired, so I would yield back, and thank you very much.
Chair now recognizes the gentleman from California.